There was no actor quite like Gene Hackman, intense, instinctive, and never once delivering a false note. These emotional words, spoken by the typically stoic Clint Eastwood, sent shockwaves through Hollywood last month. For decades, the 94-year-old legend has kept his personal life private, choosing to speak through his films rather than interviews. But when Gene Hackman was found dead alongside his wife in their Santa Fe home this February, something inside Eastwood broke. Today, we're diving deep into the untold story of a 50-year friendship between two cinematic titans, one that ended with a heartbreaking final letter Eastwood never got the chance to send. Before we move forward, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any details of this extraordinary Hollywood brotherhood that changed both men forever. In the often fleeting world of Hollywood, where relationships burn bright and fade away just as quickly, one bond remained a shining example of authenticity and mutual respect. Clint Eastwood, now 94 years old, has kept his personal relationships largely private, letting his body of work speak for itself. For decades, his personal life was cloaked in mystery, with the occasional rare glimpse into his true self. But when his dear friend, fellow screen legend Gene Hackman, passed away, Eastwood was compelled to break that silence, revealing the depth of their friendship, a connection many never knew existed. Had Eastwood chosen to remain silent, the intricate web of their shared history might have stayed buried forever, known only to those closest to them. But by choosing to share his thoughts and feelings, Eastwood has not only honored Hackman's memory, but has also allowed fans a rare peek into a camaraderie that profoundly influenced both of their careers and left an indelible mark on Hollywood. Their story begins in the 1970s, a transformative time for American cinema. Eastwood was cementing his role as the quintessential tough guy, with his squint and terse dialogue becoming his trademark. Hackman, on the other hand, was crafting a reputation for his versatility and depth, bringing layers of nuance to every performance. The two first crossed paths at a producer's party in Los Angeles, a chance meeting that would lead to a collaboration that would eventually be celebrated as cinematic gold. Those who witnessed their first encounter speak of an instant, unspoken recognition between them, a shared understanding between two artists who valued authenticity, despite their differing personalities. Eastwood, known for his reserved nature, found an unexpected kindred spirit in Hackman, whose intense on-screen persona belied a thoughtful and introspective soul off-camera. This initial connection planted the seeds for what would become a deep, lasting bond, blossoming years later when they teamed up for what many consider one of the greatest westerns ever made, Unforgiven. Unforgiven was more than just another western for Eastwood. It was a meditation on violence, redemption, and the mythologizing of the American West. For Hackman, it was a challenging role that would showcase his remarkable range. However, the road to the film's creation wasn't without its hurdles. Hackman initially hesitated to take on the role of Little Bill Daggett, worried about the graphic violence depicted in the script. But it was Eastwood's personal vision that ultimately convinced him to join the project. In a private conversation, Eastwood explained his vision for the film, not as a glorification of violence, but as an unflinching examination of its consequences. This perspective resonated deeply with Hackman, who agreed to take on the role. His portrayal of Little Bill would go on to earn him his second Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. On set, their working relationship grew into something far beyond mere collaboration. Crew members often noticed their respectful exchanges, which would often extend beyond the day's shoot to explore their views on acting, directing, and Hollywood's evolving landscape. These exchanges continued long after filming ended, as the two shared handwritten letters, an almost lost art in the digital age, but a reflection of the authentic bond they had. These letters, which Eastwood referenced in his recent tribute, provide a deeply personal look at their friendship. Whether on hotel stationery or torn scraps of paper, they contained candid reflections, shared memories, and words of encouragement. Gene had a way with words, Eastwood shared. They weren't just thoughtful, sometimes humorous, and always genuine. His letters became a bridge between us, especially when our careers led us in different directions. Following the success of Unforgiven, Both actors continued to thrive in their careers. Eastwood solidified his place as one of the most respected directors in Hollywood, while Hackman continued to deliver powerful performances across a variety of genres. Though their paths occasionally crossed at industry events, the nature of their friendship remained largely unchanged, marked by warmth, respect, and a deep bond that transcended Hollywood's superficiality. However, the dynamics of their relationship took a turn in the early 2000s when Hackman began to contemplate his retirement from acting. His decision wasn't sudden, but rather the result of both personal and professional reflections. A pivotal moment came during a routine stress test in New York, where doctors advised Hackman against continuing the physical demands of acting due to concerns about his heart. Confronted with his own mortality, Hackman decided to step away from the spotlight, not just for his health, but for the well-being of his family. Hackman's final role came in the 2004 comedy Welcome to Mooseport, where he starred alongside Ray Romano. While the film wasn't his most acclaimed work, it marked the end of a 5-decade career. Hackman confirmed his retirement with his typical understated style, saying, "I haven't held a press conference to announce my retirement, but yes, I'm not going to act anymore." After retiring, Hackman and his wife Betsy moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, where they sought peace away from Hollywood's glare. In the tranquil, artistic community, Hackman explored creative outlets that had long been sidelined, writing novels and painting, activities that allowed him to express himself in ways his acting career had not. Though he stepped away from public life, his friendship with Eastwood endured through those handwritten letters and rare phone calls, becoming even more precious as time passed. Following Hackman's passing, Eastwood broke his silence and offered a rare public tribute, calling Hackman a dear friend and reflecting on the profound impact his friend had not only on his life, but on the entire film industry. "There was no finer actor than Gene," Eastwood said, his voice quivering with emotion. "Intense and instinctive, never a false note. He was also a dear friend whom I will miss very much." Hackman's death in February 2025 came as a shock to Hollywood and beyond. He and his wife were found dead in their Santa Fe home, with investigations suggesting Hackman passed away peacefully in his sleep. It seemed, in many ways, to be a fitting final chapter, one written exactly as Hackman might have wanted, with the woman he loved by his side. Reflecting on their time together, Eastwood noted that their collaboration on Unforgiven was a high point in both of their careers. He admired Hackman's portrayal of Little Bill Daggett, noting that Hackman didn't play him as a villain but as a man who believed deeply in his own righteousness, which made the character all the more tragic. Fellow Unforgiven star Morgan Freeman echoed this sentiment, sharing his admiration for Hackman's talents and the honor of working with him. Hackman's legacy is much more than his work with Eastwood. His iconic roles in The French Connection, Bonnie and Clyde, and The Conversation cemented his place in film history. His range was staggering, transitioning effortlessly from gritty dramas to superhero films like Superman as the villainous Lex Luthor. What made Hackman's performances so compelling was his approach to acting, one that was both instinctive and deeply grounded. He once said, "The best acting is instinctive. It's not intellectual, it's not mechanical, it's instinctive." This philosophy allowed him to disappear into every role, making even the most complex characters feel relatable. As tributes pour in following Hackman's passing, it's clear that his influence extended far beyond the screen. The friendships he formed, particularly with Eastwood, reflect a man who valued authenticity and connection in an industry often criticized for its superficiality. These relationships, maintained through decades of triumphs and struggles, have left a lasting mark on Hollywood's fabric. For Eastwood, Hackman's death signifies more than just the loss of a colleague. It marks the closing of a chapter in his own life. As one of the last remaining icons of his generation, Eastwood now carries the weight of preserving the memories of their friendship, ensuring their shared stories continue to inspire future filmmakers and actors. In honoring Hackman's memory, Eastwood has chosen to focus not on loss but on celebrating a life well lived and a friendship that endured. Through his rare public tribute, he's invited fans to remember Hackman not just for his remarkable talent, but for the kind, thoughtful person behind the performances. The handwritten letters, the late-night phone calls, the honest critiques, they all stand as a testament to a 50-year friendship that wasn't just a Hollywood connection but a brotherhood forged in mutual respect. A friendship that, as we've seen today, forever changed the landscape of cinema. Sources close to Eastwood reveal that as news of Hackman's passing broke, Eastwood was in the midst of composing one final letter to his friend, a letter now kept private forever. If this glimpse into one of Hollywood's most profound friendships touched you, hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories from cinema's golden age. Share this video with someone who understands the true power of authentic friendship, and drop a comment below with your favorite Hackman or Eastwood performance. We'll be responding to the most thoughtful ones.